Does free will exist? Religions will tell you yes. Most people will tell you yes. Some philosophers will tell you no, or I'm not sure. Other people will say, I don't care. We can verify this if we are to be brave and take a look closely at our direct experience. Free will is that belief that we are this entity, essentially, that is choosing thoughts, choosing its desires, choosing to look to the left, choosing to make a video, choosing to watch a video. Now, this chooser we can also call a doer. Is there a doer? Let's see. Let's say there's a thought here. Let's say there's an action here. Where is the doer? Where is the thinker? This is just a thought, not a thinker. This is a thought. This is an action from the body. This is not a doer. This is a body, this is a thought. Where is the one that chose this thought to then perform the action? Where is it here? Oh, you may say it's a desire first. Okay, there's a desire, then a thought, then the action. Where is this chooser of the desire? Why is that desire chosen? Oh, but maybe the doer is invisible. It's imperceivable. Okay, I have no problem with that. But is that true for you? Is it true for you that you do choose desires, you do choose thoughts? It's simply just that chooser is invisible. Meaning, really try to paint this picture within your mind. There is this place, this dimension, where every single possible thought is. So we're talking infinite number. Every single possible thought that can be thought is within this dimension. You, the chooser, this invisible chooser, is looking at the thoughts, chooses that thought. That thought is banana. Then you grab that thought, you put it in your pocket, you go back to the mind, the person, and then you put that thought of banana into this desire, and then the desire creates the thought, then the thought creates the action to buy a banana. Is that your direct experience? Because that's what we are saying when we are saying we are choosing thoughts or choosing our desires. Is that far-fetched, or is that not exactly what we are saying? For example, if you say you are choosing between a blue car and a yellow car, you are literally pointing at one saying, I want this car, and then you give your reasons. When it comes to thought, we are saying we are choosing thought. So surely what we are saying is there are a selection of thoughts, just like the selection of the two cars, and we are choosing this thought instead of the other thoughts. That's what choosing means. It means there is a selection and you decide to pick one. That's choosing. Now, is that your experience, that you go to this dimension, somehow choose from a selection of thoughts, then that thought gets plucked in, thrown into your mind, and then you are aware of the thought, and then you perform the action, the body performs the action? Is that your experience, or is it this? There is an awareness of a thought. The action follows, or does not. There simply is this awareness of thought, or this consciousness of thought. Then the action follows or does not follow. Because of course you don't have to act upon every thought or desire, as you don't. Which is your experience? The dimension when you are choosing, where you are choosing thoughts, or simply being aware of thoughts? And understanding that it's the thought or a thought that says there is a chooser. Always remember that. It's a thought that says there is a chooser. This is why it's impossible to talk about consciousness and these topics in a perfect way, because words themselves are not actually talking about anything. Because words themselves are just objects themselves. We create them. But of course we have to try to communicate. So it's a thought that says, I thought this, I chose this. But was there a chooser of that thought? Was there a chooser of the thought that says, I chose this? Why would you, if you are the chooser, choose a thought that says, I chose this, if you know you are the chooser? Why would you choose a belief that says, I believe I chose this, I believe I'm the chooser, I am the doer, if you know you are? That would be a waste of time and effort. You simply wouldn't. If you are this chooser, you are this separate chooser, this separate entity, you simply would not do anything, actually. You wouldn't choose any thoughts. Because what would be the point? Because the question would be, who would you be explaining to if you are the chooser of thoughts? Who are you explaining yourself to? Imagine and by the way, I'm talking about this internal dialogue that happens. So you're in this dimension, you pick a thought, it says, I'm hungry. Okay, or a few words that say, I'm hungry. Why would you need to tell yourself that with words? Unless there's a belief that there was a listener of those words. If you already are that entity, why do you need to talk to yourself to say, I'm hungry? Why not go straight to the action? Eat food. Are you the chooser of thought, the thinker, and that one who listens to the thought as well? Are you this entity too? Are they all the same entity? Do you see how it goes when we talk about free will? We either get into this really complex experience of how it works, or we go to what we know for sure. And what we know for sure is thought happens. This internal dialogue happens. But one cannot sincerely suggest or say, I am choosing the thought, I am choosing the desires. Because they are also just being perceived, just like all objects are being perceived. You see, it's this bias again that we have towards so-called physical objects and so-called non-physical objects. Because it's a physical object, it's easy for me to see that I am perceiving it, thus it's separate from me. When it's non-physical objects, such as thoughts, emotions, desires, we say, no, they are not separate from me, they are me. Either all is you or none is you. And of course, I'm going to keep on that straight path, that direct path to truth. Remember, if it's being experienced, there is an experiencer, of course. There is no line to suggest that what you experience in so-called physical or so-called non-physical has different existence. They are all within the same experience. For example, right now, you can say, I like the green bushes behind Tiger. You can think that, I like the green bushes behind Tiger. The experience of that thought is taking place with the same physical room you are in. It's the same experience, but just different appearances. The room you are in, or wherever you are, and the thought of the green bushes. Same experience, but different appearances. Or you could say same moment if you should use time. Is it not effortless for you to experience these thoughts? Is it not effortless? Why make it an effort and say you are the doer when you are not? Let's get real now. You are not this doer. You need to verify for yourself, so don't take my words as truth. Verify for yourself that what I'm saying is true or not. I'm saying you are not the doer. When I say doer, I mean separate entity from experience. On the largest scale, that we can get to, you are the doer in that all is you, and you are talking and listening to yourself right now, or I am talking and listening to myself right now. You are listening to yourself right now. From that perspective, the widest perspective you can go to, when we say all is one, all is consciousness, all is awareness, all is God, yes, then you are that doer when you take yourself to be that, or all is Brahman, yes. But as a separate entity within Brahman, within the all, within God, within the source, within the universe, within consciousness, within awareness, a separate entity within it, choosing things, no, that you are not. It just seems as though you are. And that is completely fine. It seems as though you are the chooser. It seems as though you are the separate entity. And that enables you to enjoy yourself as this pure consciousness, as this pure God, this pure Brahman. You could not enjoy yourself if you didn't believe you had free will. You would then become a robot. So, knowing that free will does not exist for a separate entity is not to be seen as a negative. It's just to be seen as it is what it is, yet I still have the belief, the strong belief, and can have the strong belief that I choose. No matter what anyone says, no matter what Tiger says or anybody says, I can still have this belief that it's me that is choosing to dance, choosing to eat food. All the while knowing that, essentially speaking, I am not a separate entity, because I am more than that. I am greater than this separate entity belief. I am the all. So you see, you as Brahman, which just means absolute reality in Sanskrit, or God in religious talk, or Allah, you are both that and the experience of a separate person. This should fill you with more joy, my friends. You are not this separate entity that is choosing all of these thoughts, choosing the negative thoughts, choosing the evil thoughts, choosing the bad thoughts. No, they are just these appearances that come and go. There is no chooser, so there's no one to blame for the thought itself. Don't blame yourself. I can't stop thinking, I can't stop thinking. It's not you that is thinking in the first place. You were just aware of this experience that is going on. All is you all the time. It's when we believe we are separate, it's then that we get into harm's way. It's then that we harm ourselves. It's then that we harm other people, because we see them as enemies, as separations, so as separate entities from us. Imagine if we all knew that, essentially speaking, we are all that same being, just expressing itself in different forms. And it makes complete sense, because it's only as the belief of being a body that we can experience separation, experience otherness, experience the love in the sense of transactional love, the emotional love between a mother and a mother's child. There's nothing wrong with that love, but it's transactional, meaning there are two entities. I hope this helps you understand more about free will, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy awakening.